We're going to have some fun.
How much fun? Not too much fun. You guys don't have too much fun with Jared. Okay? Keep it like on the low down. Alright. Alright. Welcome. Alright. Okay, first of all, call a couple that you guys come out. You do this. The coldest night of the year, like almost. Okay, so here's the thing. Okay? The thing is like this, and it has to become simple to us, and just to understand that this is how it is. There's something called chok pu'ula v'tguva, which means chok pu'ula v'tguva, which means that what you put out, you'll get waves in return of that same energy that you put out. So with the energy that you put out, we put out loads of different kinds throughout the day. Okay, there's different kinds. We can wake up in the morning and be in a better mood and walk outside and see someone that, I don't know, needs to cross the street, and we gladly help them cross the street. You've put out right now an energy of connection, an energy of love, an energy of I see you, an energy of... That energy will come back to you in some form here or somewhere else. It's going to come to, you know, I when I learned this today, then I thought of one thing, and what that was yesterday, that... You know, I had like a really week, birthday, and you name all these different things. I was doing a lot of things, teaching, and really on a high. And yesterday, I don't know, I just woke up in this lull, not down or sad, just like that, and just feeling I don't know how to explain it. It was a very lully feeling, right? And doing my work, and I'm working with my children, and it's afternoon, and all of a sudden I get a text message from this woman that I know. She's this mentor, and she says to me, "I'm in your area. I'm coming over with my son." And I'm I'm doing homework here. I'm also not in the head. You know, I'm in my lull. So let me be. And she's all high powered, and she puts me to shame. I'm nothing energetically compared to her. And she's also 11 years younger than me, but whatever. Age is all in the mind. It has nothing to do with reality and truth. It's in the mind. Like we said last time, remember? We said that Rabbi Nachman says, don't be a skinna, don't be an old person, because an old person is something that you experience in your mind. You can have people that are literally 25 years old that feel old. They feel like they're heavy. They feel like they have no energy. They feel like they have to nap all the time. They feel like life is hard. They feel like their entire being and their consciousness is in in the old phase of life. Life is not new and fresh and happy and let's start over and I fell, let's get up, and the vibrancy of life. They're already in the heavy footsteps of old age. And you can have an old person that in their tfisa, in their grasp of life, age. So what if I'm 75? I feel like I'm 20, right? You can have people that, because it's all a matter of, how you grasp your life and how you feel in your life and how you make changes in order to feel better in your life, right? All of those things. So what we were saying before is that this chok pu'ula v'tguva is what you put out, you get back. So I was saying about my friend, and all of a sudden she comes with her son, and my kids take off, no homework, bye, goodbye. And she's I'm hey, what's up? You want some coffee? And trying really so hard because I haven't smiled all day. Not anger, just So she's ma yeshlach? I'm what? Nothing, I'm fine. Something's up with you. What's wrong with you? And she barely knows me. The lady barely knows me. I met her twice before this. I said, no, I'm good. Let's have some coffee. And then she sits in front of me for the next hour and a half, and basically she's like a mentor, a relationships mentor and coach, and she's you just need some love in your life. That's your problem. You need love in your life. I'm I have lots of love in my life. You can have love in all different forms, and you can feel lots of love in your life. You could be married and not have any love in your life. It doesn't necessarily. Oh, stop it! You need a relationship. Right? She was this whole thing, and I was thinking to myself, after she left, I left her. I left her in my house. I was I have to go. I had to go teach, and she was not going, and then finally she left, and I left. But before I went to teach, She looked at him and she's like, Devorah, get out of it! You're going to teach now. Go light them up. Go light them up. I was like, all right. And I walked in a different person. I literally, if she wouldn't have come, I wouldn't have walked in like that. I walked in a different person, and Baruch Hashem, I have 60 students, and it's 2 hours worth of learning, and it's like, it's serious stuff. It's not something that you could just normally I don't usually, if that would happen to me, without that happening, without her coming over, without her shaking me, I would just, So today we're going to go and discuss how you guys doing. And then when I was learning this today, can you do that over there? Yes, thank you so much. When I was learning this today, I realized that this is exactly what it's talking about. When you put good things into the world, you put love into the world, you put giving into the world, you let it come out of you, you let it emanate from you. When you let it emanate from you, you think you're doing someone a favor. It's a boomerang effect. It comes right back to you when you need it most. When you need it most, it doesn't sound nothing. Let me in. What? Let me just stay in my lull, please. There's something about a misery comfort zone. Something about in the misery, there's some kind of feel good almost sometimes. You get cozy in it. The self-pity, the this, the that, pulls us in. And someone comes waving something in your face and telling you, just snap out of it. You're telling yourself demyonis, yada yada, stop, wipe your tears, let's go. Sometimes that's a very, very big blessing. So blessings come to those who bless. And the whole chachma here is to understand how to work the game, okay? How to work this thing, okay? So I chose the topic of peace because I feel like there's a lot of this thing that's going on in the world, oh, she's toxic for me, I can't. She's toxic, I can't. He's toxic, everyone's toxic. Everyone that's not like me is toxic for me. And then what happens? People live in their own bubble. People just live by themselves. Because this one's toxic, and that one's out to get me, and that one's not, honest, and this one's not trustworthy, and people are always trying to, cut in front of me, and in all different ways. And what goes on is that this world was created for peace. What peace means, shalom means shleimus, means whole. The fragmentation that we see going on all over the world, all the fragmentations, all the pirud, all the fragmentations that we see all over the world, that is the main cause of this cancer that we're all swimming in. When I say a cancer, I mean all the anger and the fighting and the fires in families, among siblings, amongst parents, one person inside of themselves, constantly at conflict with themselves, not happy with themselves, not happy with their direction, constantly in this thing that's going on, up, down, emotional, right? All the fragmentations that are going around and that are happening are the cause for the cancer. And now what's the cancer? The cancer is everything that's bad in the world. Everything that's bad in the world, for example, overdosing, young people dying, people that are getting sick with different diseases and illnesses. People are getting into car accidents, freak of natures, people drowning, people burning in buildings, people coming down with their building while they're sleeping. All the calamities that we have in the world, all the pain that people have in their lives is only a result of the fragmentation. That's what we're learning in the Zohar. That's what the Zohar explains. He says when there's shlemut, shalom, where there's peace, where there's shlemut, because shalom means wholeness, completeness. Okay, where there's peace, then en ra tofesh sham. No bad can harm there, and it even goes so much to the extent of explaining. Here, I want to read this to you for a second. Where is it? Look what it says here. Alidei sheyesh shalom ben reshaim. When there's peace amongst evil people, evil meaning you scratch my back, I scratch yours, or you want to go kill 300 million people together? Let's do it. But there's peace between them. They don't talk bad about each other. They don't talk behind each other's back. They don't try to one-up each other. They don't try to manipulate each other. There's peace. They've made peace. The Rishayim we're talking about, that's an extreme statement. Evil people. Evil, not nice, not kind, not one, good morning, can I help you walk your dog? No, not those people. Evil. Those people, when there's peace between them, called tuv. They will experience good in their life. Maybe that's why the big famous question of tzaddik v'ralo v'rasha v'tovlo, why is it that you see good people suffering and bad people flourishing? Right? There's all different answers, and I feel like from all the research that I'm doing lately, I'm seeing that the bottom line recipe for success and blessing in your life is not the 613 mitzvos. I'm not saying not to do the 613 mitzvahs, but I'm saying from the emphasis of the Torah on what really is the magnet that will pull into your life all the blessing that you want, all the shefa that you want in your life. What the glue there is, achdut. Achdut meaning peace with people. Peace with people. Now what we're learning, is like this. Listen to this. I'm going to first read to you a few sources, okay, just so you hear from the inside. And then we're going to learn how to create peace in our lives based on 3 tools, based on 3 techniques that we're going to do them, we're going to use them, and we're going to create peace in our lives. Now, peace in our lives, what that means is less fragmentation. Think about yourself. Think about the ups and downs in one week that you may have. Think about the emotional roller coaster. Think about everything that's going on in your life that you're confused about, you're not sure about, you're not sure what God wants, you're not sure if you're doing the right thing, you're the wrong thing, you're not sure, if you're thinking the right thoughts, maybe you're selling yourself in some story, maybe you're not even, doing what you should be doing with your life, maybe all of those things that are, we're in conflict with ourselves comes from a lack of internal peace. A lack of internal peace is the root of all the external lack of peace that we have in our life. Meaning the fights, the arguments, the not talking to, the blaming the people that hurt you, that did things to you, all of those rickety, rocky relationships, all of the things in your life that you feel that are just like, I can't, she's hurt me, this person's done this to me, I don't trust this person because of XYZ. All of those things that we have in our life only come from a lack of internal peace. So today what we're going to learn is, first of all, we're going to learn the ma'alot of shalom. We're going to learn why peace is so valuable. Why peace is not something that you can just have. It's something that you create peace. You make peace. If you don't make peace, peace is not there. You can't get peace in any other way besides for making it. You have to make peace in order to pull it into your life. Now, it says in here, it says, Amar Rabbi Shimon ben Chalfata, לא מצא הקדוש ברוך הוא כלי מחזיק ברכה לישראל אלא השלום. It says in this Chazal, Hashem has now found another vessel that is so good at holding blessing besides for peace. Meaning you can have different vessels. Okay, you want to get a drink, so you need a cup. You can drink, right? You can do a lot of things with vessels. You can hold the things that you need to have. Right? And in order to be able to enjoy something, I need to be able to first have a vessel to hold it in. Okay? I can go to a water fountain, like a rushing fountain. What are they called? What are they called? A fall. I can go to a fall and I can be really, 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 really so thirsty. I'm going to pass out and I'm in the desert and all of a sudden I found a fall. Right? A waterfall. The amount... What?
That's at a waterfall.
A waterfall. The amount of water that I can get out of that waterfall, if I just stick my face underneath the fall, is going to be a lot less mashma'oti, a lot less than if I had a vessel to hold the water and fill it up and drink it. Meaning, try to get the water, even if you have tons of water flying in your face, right? You need vessels in order to be able to absorb things. People need vessels. We didn't have vessels in order to be able to have things. Okay, that's you all have lots and lots of vessels in your soul. Vessels are kelim according to the Zohar. And in order for a person to have anything in their life, a job, their health, a relationship, an apartment, a car, any blessing that they have in their life, their vision, anything that they have in their life, they have to have had a vessel for that first. A vessel. And how do you create vessels? You create vessels based on thoughts and actions. Based on thoughts, words, and actions. 3 things that create vessels. Your thoughts, your words, and your actions. Now, the more you are a person that creates vessels, that are whole vessels, meaning your thoughts are positive about another person. You see another person, you have an option in that moment to think, oh my gosh, I don't know, look at what she's wearing. Or you have an opportunity, you have the option of thinking, oh, she has beautiful blue eyes. Of seeing what about her is beautiful. Now, what does that have to do with anything? It's a training of yourself. When you start training yourself to see the beauty in life, in people, as opposed to, he's trying to rip me off, he's a conniving thief, this one is just jealous, okay? That one's out to get me, all right? This one's talking about me behind my back, and even though all these things are true and right, okay? Let's say all these examples are true. They are. It is happening. But the fact that you translate what you're seeing and make it a point, like make it a real point, not just like for the fun of it. Like make it a point to translate, seeing the good in this. I can always see the bad in this. I can try to find every defect in this thing. I can find the defects. We can find the defects in anything. You can find the defects in anything. If a person's looking for defects, they'll find it. If a person's looking for what's beautiful, they'll find it. Now, what's the biggest? Why does it make a difference if I find what's beautiful? Rabbi Nachman explains that when you look with your eye, when you look for what's beautiful in another person, in the life situation that you're handed, if you look for the silver lining there, if you see it, if you see the person that's in front of you and you're just like, I don't know what to do with this mess, with this relationship, with this kid, with this husband, with this whatever, I don't know what to do with this, but you start looking, I know I don't know what to do with the whole thing, and I'm probably not going to figure out what to do with this right now. But in the interim, in the meanwhile, let me look for what's good about this person, for what's beautiful about this person. Why? It's very, very interesting. Yehuda and Yosef. Yehuda goes down to Egypt. There's no food in Israel. There's no food. There's a famine. Yaakov sends his tribes, his children down to Egypt. There's lots and lots of food in Egypt. Yosef is the viceroy in Egypt, right? He's second to the king in Egypt. Yehuda walks in, and all the Shvatim walk in, and Yosef recognizes them right away. We all know the story. He knows that it's his brothers. They don't recognize him at all. There's a whole back and forth. They just came to get food. He's making them go crazy. He's making them insane. Million questions. Where are you from? Who's your father? What did you do? Who's your brothers? Who did you leave behind? Did you leave someone behind? Like all these questions. And it got to a point where Yehuda, his older brother, was just like, yo, get out of my face. I came here to get some food. What are you all questioning and getting in my business for? Let me just get out of my way. Let me just get some food. And then Yosef gets even more. He even gets more vicious with them. He puts the cup and making believe as if they stole the cup. They leave, and then he stops them. His messengers stop them. And they're like, you stole a cup from Yosef. And they're like, we didn't take anything from him. What do you want from us? Yes, you did. Let's check your bags. They check their bags, and they find the golden goblet that was the king's. He makes them come all the way back. Yehuda's like, what is this? And he realizes, and then it stops. The psukim change completely. The interaction changes completely. All of a sudden, Yehuda takes a whole different approach. All of a sudden, he comes from a humble. Before he was ready, it says in the psukim that he was ready to pounce him. Yehuda was like, I'm done. He wanted to take his little brother as collateral. You're not taking my little brother. He was ready to go. He was ready to pounce him. I don't care if he's the king. They were huge. And all of a sudden, the whole script changes, and he comes at him from humble and lowers himself. He lowers himself, and he comes into a place of if it's okay with you, my adon, my master. And all of a sudden, right away, the next pasuk, Yosef can't hold it in anymore. He can't be harsh anymore. He can't be tight anymore. His heart opens. He starts crying, and he says, "It's me. I'm Yosef. I love you." Okay, and then they have that whole thing happen. What happened with Yehuda? And this is what it says over there. Yehuda understood. He said, wait, why does this Egyptian, this Mitzri, hate me so much? He's all up in my business. He's all trying to get me. Why does he hate me so much? And all of a sudden he had an aha moment. And what was his aha moment? He hates me so much because I'm expressing hatred towards him. I'm not liking him. I don't like this conversation. I don't like where he's going with this. I don't like what he's doing here. I don't like all these questions. My vibe towards him was like that. So the energy that I got back was the same energy. And Yehuda gets that. He changes his whole vibe. Let's talk. Comes at him from friends. Let's talk. What can I do? What do you need? And immediately when he gets back, boomerang, it's his brother. All the time. Okay. And that's what we're learning. We're seeing that what Yehuda did was use his vision. He used his vision to understand that it's my vision that's creating this chaos. It's my vision, the way I'm viewing him, the way I'm seeing him, the way I'm approaching him, the way I'm taking him, the way I'm translating him. That's what's causing this chaos. I'm only getting back what I give out. Chok pa'ula v'tguva. I get back from the world what I give out. So if I'm surrounded by people that I feel are not nice to me, are harsh with me, are difficult with me, are stingy with me, don't see me, right? I have to understand in that moment, I have to do what Yehuda did. I have to understand that if I change my approach to the situation, which means, how do I change my approach to the situation? They're still doing the same not nice things that they're doing. But I'm looking now for the good in them, the beauty in them. I remember when I was in court, and my lawyer gave me a tip. She said, it was very interesting. Only in Israel do you have a lawyer giving you a tip like this. She said, when you stand there and look at the judge, only think good things about her. Only think good things about her. How much she's so straight, and she's so kind, and she's so righteous, and she's so nice, and she's so beautiful. Only think good things about her. And she will look at you with chen, and you will find chen in her eyes. That's the same concept that we're learning here. You only get back what you put out. If you get back a world that's difficult, hard, people are mean to you, if that's the world that you're experiencing, that you're living in, you have to start changing the vision, because the vision is creating that. Your vision, seeing this guy as, he's coming to get me, he's hurting me, he doesn't like me, he's difficult with me. Seeing him that way actually energizes him to be that way towards you. Gives him that energy to be that way. You're feeding his energy. Switch the energy, change the energy. Feed the energy that you want to have boomeranged back to you. Okay. Fine. Part 1. כל חולאים חס ושלום הם בבחינת מחלוקת שאין שלום בעצמיו והיסודות מתגברים. It says here that all physical ailments, all diseases, all sicknesses that a person has in their life come because he's not in peace with himself and inside. He's at conflict with himself inside. He likes himself, he hates himself. He's happy with himself, people like him, all of a sudden he's happy. People don't like him, all of a sudden he's angry. He has all of these things happening, all the conflicts, all the pulling back and forth. So that kind of internal chaos creates sickness and illness in the body. It literally creates problems in the physical body. This is Chazal. Okay, this is straight up Masechah Shabbos. Okay, this is Gemara. It says here, Shalom eno rak ben adam lechavaro, ela ben adam leben atzmo. Rabbi Buni מפסיכיה מסביר דברי חז"ל, בקש שלום במקומך. אל תבקש את השלום בשם מקום, אלא כל אחד בקרב עצמו. אין שלום בעצמי מפני חטאתי. What he says here, he brings it down and he explains that a person needs to have peace in themselves. When you have peace in yourself, you have abundance in your life. You have peace in your life. And peace, again, remember, peace is, when you hear the word peace, shalom, you have to think of chiburim, connections. That's how a person makes peace in their life. We said peace is something that you have to make. Peace is not something that just shows up. Peace is something that you have to make. If you don't come to your friend and say, let's make peace. Here's a peace treaty. Let's make peace. Let's start over. You won't have peace. You can't have peace there. Peace doesn't only happen when you're not fighting. It's not like, oh, I'm not fighting with him, I'm not fighting with her, so I have peace. You don't have peace just because you're not fighting with the person. You have peace when you make peace with the person.
But why would there not be peace if you've not had a fight? Like when you say you make peace, it's because there's some beef there. Like peace, you meet someone and you get along all the time from the beginning when you met them. You're not like, oh, I need to make peace with them. You're at peace with them.
Right.
It's just there.
Right.
It doesn't need to be made. It's
right. But by the fact that you're making connections in your relationship, the chiburim make peace. Chiburim make connections equal peace. They give you that energy of peace that you can't have unless you're doing active things with this person. You're not just not fighting with this person, you're also giving to this person, listening to this person.
Yeah, but not always. Sometimes you meet someone new and you just get good energy. You might never see them again, or you see them like pamba, but like you're not friends, you're not actively giving and receiving and building a friendship, but there's just a peaceful energy. Then you meet someone and you just get terrible energy and you say, ew, and then you don't even know the person.
Right, exactly. So when I say when you don't need to fight in order to have, it's not just enough not to fight. It means that there are people that just say, let me just not talk to my mother for the rest of my life and I'll be good.
People say that.
Oh yeah. Let me just avoid this relationship because it's just toxic, okay? And it'll be good. It'll be good. Every single one of those times that we look around us in our lives and we see that this person's at fault for hurting me, and this person's at, what we see in the other people, and we blame them, and we blame the circumstances, all it causes is more pirud inside of us. It just causes more breakage inside of me. How do you say pirud? What is it? Separation. Separation inside of me. What's the separation? That is the birthing place of all the conflicts, the internal conflicts. When I read you, when I look into you and I say, I'm going to see only what's good in her. I'm only going to see what's good in her. Because to see what's bad in another person is a no-brainer. Okay? Like, it's a no-brainer. Especially when, we feel that we have it right. And, the other person just, is making mistakes. Like that type. So, to see that's not our avoda. Our avoda, our job here, is to evolve.
What happens if you can't help but think them?
Okay.
You try and avoid thinking it, but then it's just there. You don't say it out loud, but when you see them, you can't. It's just there. You're screaming in your head.
100%. And that's part of living life. Part of living life is the experiences, the raw experiences of the relationships, the ups and the downs, and the hating and the loving, and all of the things that come along with it, all the feelings and the nefesh that come along, the revenge, the jealousy, all of the things that surface inside of us. We're human beings. But the most important thing to understand and to remember is that from the conflicts that we have inside of us, okay, the conflicts. For example, I'm doing one thing, okay? Let's say I'm married and I have a relationship with someone that I don't love. But I only stay married because it makes sense. He supports me. But meanwhile, I'm in this relationship with someone that I don't love. And I walk the walk and talk the talk. I make believe I do. To keep him, happy. What happens over time to the person's nefesh when they live in that kind of dichotomy where they're playing a game in order to serve their needs or serve a purpose or for whatever their purpose, whatever their reason is, it creates a breakage in their nefesh. It slowly starts to wear and tear down on them. And when there's breakage, the Zohar explains, that's when the ra comes in. Shama yesh achiza la ra. Ra yechol echoz. Bad can only grip a place where there's an empty space, meaning where there's hollowness, where there's chilul. That's what chilul Hashem. That's what it means. When there's an empty space. See, because when you're at peace, inside. When you're at peace, and our peace means, again, it means being able to have the right vision towards everything in your life. Being able to put a good spin on it. Being able to put a good translation on it. Be able to look at that person that's in front of you and say, okay, they're sinning right now. Let me even understand them in their sins. Let me even, be there for them while they're sinning, after they sinned, when I know that they sinned. And not be harsh with them and judge them and see them in a bad way, because everything I put out comes back to me. So if I feel judged in my life, and I feel mistreated, and I feel not loved, and I feel not seen, I have to remember that the way I'm translating the people, the experiences, the co-workers, the parents, the children, everything that I'm experiencing in my life, the thoughts jump. The thoughts jump. She's ugly, she's stupid, she's cheap, she's this. I think things in my head about the people that I'm around. And that actually causes the separation. That actually causes the pirud. And when the pirud happens, that's when the ra comes in. And that's when the conflicts in the person, the internal strife happens inside. Person could have everything in their life. And if they're not at peace with themselves, they're climbing the walls of their golden cage. They're climbing the walls. They're not at peace with themselves. They're anxious and they're stressed and they're angry and they're hurt and they're bitter and they're That's the bad energies that come flooding in. The Zohar explains they're called shin daladim. They're called shadim. They're energies that are dark. They're forces. They're real forces. You know the feeling that you feel when you love someone? The feeling of love? That's a force. That's why you feel it. That's why you can feel it so strong it can make you cry. It can actually make you have a physical reaction to that feeling, because it's an energy. It's really, you could cut it with a knife. And when a person has the opposite, when a person is in all of these internal conflicts and they're scared of taking any risks, they're scared of getting married, they're scared of getting that job or leaving that job, they're scared, they're always living in this fear, that is the biggest curse a person can have in their life. Energetically, they're literally being chased by demons. And the only way, and that's what the Torah explains, the only way that these dark energies can have an achizah, can grab a person, and can have any kind of effect on his life, the only way that can happen is if the person themselves separates themselves in their mind. I don't hold by that, I don't like that rabbi, I don't like that shul, this guy's stupid, this guy's ugly, this guy's that they're creating tons and tons and tons of separations in their head. So what does he say? He explains to us like this. He says, Baal Sulam says like this. Listen to the Baal Sulam. Baal Sulam says, anybody have any questions, by the way? I prepared so much on Shalom, so if I go overboard, please stop me. Okay, but we'll go until, what time is it now? How long have we been? Let's see.
8:31.
Oh, thank you. Wow, how do you know that? Okay. Let's see if you're right. 8:30, yeah, you're right. Okay. We'll go till 8:45. You're good with that? Mm-hmm. Yeah? If anybody has to leave? Or 9, whatever you guys want. Okay, whatever. Okay, so he says like this. He says about Sulam, Ravashlag, he says like this. Listen to this. He says that there's 3 britot, 3 britot, 3 covenants, that if a person keeps them, and matzav, there's no way for this person to attract any kind of strife, fighting, people coming at them, people trying to steal from them, people trying to get them. He's not going to experience that. He's not going to have anyone hodefoto. No one's going to chase him in his life. Chill. Money's going to come easy, jobs, friends, people, relationship, nice. That's what God wants. Okay, what's really happening here? God up in heaven, okay, he's setting a projector on the world. It's a projector of light. It's called Or Ein Sof. Or Ein Sof. This light is so good, so sweet, so yummy, so amazing. People that have out-of-body experiences, what do they explain there to be the light? What did the light make them feel? You've seen these videos? Wow, there's lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of eduyot. There are lots of eduyot, Jews and non-Jews alike. And they've had this out-of-body experience where they died for a few minutes and their soul left their body. And they had an out-of-body experience. And the experience that they say that they had, most of them, is when they saw that light, that's all they wanted. It was just so good. They explain, and I used to be an avid researcher of this Indian here, but they explain that once they felt the light, once they saw the light, they were like, bye guys, like bye, like they were fine leaving everyone behind, it was just, imagine all the pleasure in the world condensed into a moment.
Yeah, but is that not because at the time when they're dead or whatever, then it's such a dark, fearful moment that when they see the light, it's comforting.
The actual light itself, yeah. The Or Ein Sof, it's a force. It's a power. You understand? So they feel it. It's like the Havdili when you go to a tanning salon. You feel the thing.
It happened to me a few years ago.
What happened to you a few years ago?
I had this experience, but it's a story that I'll tell you in private. But it wasn't like a light where it's like, wow, take me. It's like the other side that you go through before you see something is you're scared. You're like, wait, what's going? You don't know what's going on. So then when you see what our brains are programmed our whole life about light being good and about being the end of somewhere or being the start of something or saving us. If you're in a dark tunnel and you see the light at the end, you're like, oh, thank God. It's more like a comfort of knowing there's something there, you're not alone, the fear's ending, as opposed to pleasure of oh wow, this feels amazing.
Yeah.
You get what I mean?
I understand what you're saying. It's a different stage of process.
Can. Also, because there are stages to the neshama is in the room, and then the neshama goes further up, and then the neshama goes to the body, and then the neshama comes back to the family. There's all different processes until the neshama goes up.
Yeah. So like when like my grandparents died in a Jewish nursing home, and like they bring someone in to talk to you about the end of life, and they say that when the soul first leaves the physical body, that Hashem will send a soul that they recognize, so they don't feel scared, because the transition between the physical and the spiritual can be scary for the soul. They're like, what's going on? And they don't know anything.
Right.
So it would kind of make sense that it's more of like a fear and a comfort as opposed to a pleasure with the light.
I hear what you're saying, for sure. For sure, that's part of it. For sure, that's part of it. The idea of the light being a comfort, the light being a pleasure, is what the Torah describes, that Hashem gives out His love to the world through the vehicle of light. Not light, but this energy that's called light. And so. And in this light, there's a tremendous amount. That's why you'll see people that are holy people. They have a light to them. They have a light in their eyes. You see the people that are pure, you literally see the purity on them, right? It says like about the greatest Gedolim that lived in past generations, where people would walk into them and they would be old people and they would have a baby face and they would have like light coming out of their face, right? Because everything that a person, you see, Lahav, they'll take the other side. People that are evil, God forbid, and kill and steal and bloodshed and all of that. You can literally never even talk to a person like that, and you just see that something is just like, you get a bad vibe, you get a bad, like, slimy, scary, uncomfortable. Why? Because the person doesn't have to talk. The person doesn't have to say anything. Their vibe, their aura is created by their actions, their words, their thoughts. And the more I'm involved in purity, and acts of giving, and learning, and coming out to classes, and blessing God, and thanking God, and the more I'm involved in acts of purity, I'm not saying you're also not involved in acts that are not pure, because we're human beings and we're working on ourselves. That's how we evolve slowly. We don't bite off more than we can chew, ever. We never bite off more than we can chew spiritually, ever. It means that you could be like, you know what, I'm done. I want to move up to the next level. I'm done. I'm going to start wearing skirts. I'm going to start wearing skirts every single day because that's the right thing to do. And that's what, if you're in here, not in a place where every day wearing skirts is going to make you feel stifled, suffocated. If you're inside, but you want to do it because it's the right thing to do. But wait, there's also a nefesh. So you want to do the right thing, you want to get closer, that's awesome. So then you take one step forward. That means one morning a week, or one day a week. Shabbos, Friday night. You don't take on more than you can chew. Because then what happens is, as fast as you go up, you fall down. That's what happens every time. Okay, so we're smart in our growth process. We're smart in our involvement, but we always have to keep evolving. And the fact that you come out to classes, and the fact that you expose yourself to truth, to purity, to godliness, that's what's going to give you the siyata dishmaya to move. Sometimes I'm just like, sometimes I learn a lot and this and that, and I'm like, how am I going to do all this stuff? Like I'm so far, from being this person that I'm teaching about, or, having all these qualities. How often do I teach about, manifesting and using your mind to manifest the things that you want in your life? And then the things that I teach, the actual steps, I forget. And I fall into the same trap that all my students are doing. And all their questions were in the classroom. It's so clear to me all of a sudden in my life. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm here. Right? I've been teaching this for so long. So what I've learned, like literally this week, because this was like weighing on me, what I learned this week is that by the two things, act of saying, Hashem, I'm so not where it's good for me to be, it's probably productive for me to be, it's probably amazing for me to be, probably where I'm going to be soaring and flying and feeling good. I'm so not in the place of like waking up at 5 a.m., going on a run, meditating, working out, davening, going to a class and listening every single day to a class, or learning a sefer every single day for at least an hour, going on walks, doing big things with my children, drinking green juices, all the things that you're supposed to be doing with your life that are right. Going more on pushing myself in the dating department, all the things that are right to do. I'm so falling short of all these things. And what I learned this week, with the grace of God, that He opened my eyes to this idea, to this concept, is that, Devorah, you keep your eye on the goal. What do you want? You want to be that kind of mom? You want to be that kind of teacher? You want to be that kind of friend? You want to get married? You want to do all these things? You keep your eye on what you want to be. The getting there, keep asking for it. Like, I realized that when I ask for the things that I feel like are really far away from me right now, like I'm not on that level at all yet. I'm not there yet. Like doing an hour hisbodedus a day. I wish. I'm not there yet. But I have it, and I wrote it on my wall, and I'm looking at it all the time, and I want it. It doesn't happen. Just because you want something can't just happen right away. Sometimes you have to just look at it a lot. You have to think about it. You have to ask for Hashem, please let me be zocheh to do an hour of hisbodedus a day. Please help me have that zchut. So it doesn't happen today. It doesn't happen. Please, God, help me stop being an alcoholic. So it didn't happen today. You still went back to for your drink. But where's your heart? What do you want? What you want, the desires of your heart, your heart chakra, is so powerful. It's so powerful that sometimes it's not like, what does it matter what I want? I'm not going to be able to do it anyway. I cave to carbs and sugar. Like, I can't. I want to stop, I can't. I want to stop, I fall. I can't. It doesn't matter if you get up and fall. It doesn't matter if you try, if you want, and you don't succeed. It doesn't matter. That's not what's important. What's important is to know what you want and to keep your eye on the goal and say, I'm going to just say it. And that's our next point. When you say the words, before it was your power of vision, what you see, you get back. The next part is what you say. Your words actually, if we had spiritual vision, this is mind-boggling. If we had spiritual vision, right now, I would see the words coming out of my mouth, actualizing, making physical beings, things. They're Baruch Shamar V'aya. We don't see, that's why it says, Ra'u et kolot. By Har Sinai, they saw the voices, they saw the sounds. Because if we had higher level spiritual vision, we're just blinded. We're really, really, a lot of things we don't see, energies we don't feel. We're a lot of times we don't even know what our own intuition is. We're like not in touch so much, right? But if we were, and there are people that know how to do this, if we had a deeper vision, like a spiritual vision, we would see our words create, your words, once they come out of your mouth, they're spiritual. You can't hold on to them. You can't grab them. You can't put them in a bag, in a box. It's a spiritual thing. A person, here it says that, Nafshi yatsa midavro. Nafshi yatsa, the way a person expresses their nefesh inside is through their speech. You know a person by what they're saying. You know what's going on in a person's mind by what they talk about. And if you know how to listen, and that's a whole other class of learning how to listen and the techniques of listening. Maybe we'll do that a little bit, another class of how to listen. There's hearing the other person and there's listening to what they're saying. And Rav Yuval, the Rav that teaches us, he says that if we would really learn how to listen and we knew how to listen, we would hear everything that's going on in another person's world. Everything. We would literally hear the things that they're not even trying to tell you. The things that they're trying to keep from you, you would hear them. Because a person, bottom line, talks about what's going on in their nefesh. The words that are coming out, they're coming out directly from my nefesh. So that is what my words are. Our words, our nefesh, it creates reality, it creates things. It creates things. And those things that we create by speaking them, we don't see them. But they literally are spiritual creations. And that's why affirmations are such a big thing today, right? Say what you want, not what you don't want, right? Talk about yourself in a way to yourself, about your life, about your goals, in a way of, God, you'll see, I'm going to get there. I'm going to beat that addiction. I'm going to beat that relationship. I'm going to get out of that job and I'm going to get to a place where I'm going to really, really, really make a dent on this planet with my life. You're going to see. As opposed to, what am I, what do I know, who am I have nothing, no one likes me, life sucks. Then, when you create those words, when you say those words, you create that reality in your life. So the second way of creating peace is through the words. It's through the words that we use. The words that we use create chiburim. Remember when I say peace, I mean chiburim, connections. You want to create, when a person talks to another person, that's the best, that's the highest human expression of connection. Highest. Two people talking is the highest human expression of connection. Deepest. It's the deepest. It's the deepest level of connection. Okay? Because it's one soul talking to another soul. And it's really important to remember that the reason we have so many communication issues in our life, the reason we have so many problems and fights and machlokas and this going on, okay, is because we have to learn how to talk and we have to learn how to listen. Because if I want to see you improve, then telling you, you really are not improving, and I don't know what's going to be with you. You know? That, I'm not sending you any kind of energy that's building, that's actually doing what I want you to do, which is improve. So I want you to improve. That's the thing. What we want, we usually do the opposite of. Instead of wanting the other person to improve and then saying the things that will help them improve, because when I say good things at you, it builds you. And that's how you're going to improve. When I say good things at you, when I see the beauty in you, when I see what you are doing, how much you do care, the fact that you did come out here in the coldest day of the year and sit here and come to hear a Torah class, what you are doing, where you are working, how you are fighting to not just survive but live, then that gives you more power to keep building. But if I'm going to talk at you, and I'm going to point at you all the things that you just stink at, and all the bad things about you, what I'm going to do, and when I do this to myself at work, it's the same thing. What I'm going to do is that I take away from your energy, and that's how miscommunications happen. And that's how people fight. And that's how one person goes at each other. No one's listening to each other. Everyone's just at each other. Oh, I'm bad? What about you? What about when you didn't take out the garbage? You think I was bad? Right? So that's the second way. And the third way, and this is the final way, is through and these are the three keys to having peace in your life. And once a person has peace, no lack can come in, no bad can come in, no conflict can come in, no losing money can come in, no people hurting you, taking from you, stealing from you, none of that can come in. You're protected, you're energetically protected. And the third thing is Brit Hama'or, which literally is talking about the Kedushat Brit, sexual purity. When a person protects themselves sexually, they're also allowed no bad forces to come in, okay? Because that's a very, very potent, strong place when it's just open and when it's just giving and it's just no boundaries there and it's just that, then to the extent that they experience the pleasure and the joy from that, to that level, they're opening up the place that Ra can come in, because it creates conflict. That creates conflict. Why does that create conflict? Because if it's spiritually impure, even though it doesn't feel that way, it will create conflict, internal conflict, and external conflict. Because if there's internal conflict, if you're internally at war with yourself, you're fighting with the whole world. You don't like the bus driver, you don't like the guy in the Makolet, she got on your nerves, your husband's, you can't see him in front of your face, your kids are so nice, and everything is beautiful. When you're not internally happy, when you're not at peace with yourself, you're not at peace with anybody. You're fighting with everyone. There are people I know that literally have Shalom bank accounts. Like they opened up an account and they deposit money in there, like $20, $10 every month. They're always depositing money in there. And that's their Shalom bank account. That means whenever there's going to be conflict about money with anyone in their life, you didn't pay me back. Guess I did pay you back. Oh, you took money from me. Oh, and anything that has to do with conflict, like if I ask the person for the money that they owe me, we're going to get into a fight, they take it from that account. Or if two people are fighting because of money, they take from the Shalom account and they give it to them. Because what Shalom does, what a lack of Shalom, what Machlokas does, what war does, is it creates fire in the world. Machlokas is ish, creates fire in the world. How does fire look? Fire looks like a man killing his wife. Fire looks like anger. Fire looks like strife. Fire looks like cheating, eating each other up alive. That's fire. That's the energy of the Satan. That's the energy of the Satan. That's what he loves to see us cook in our own blood and hurt each other and kill each other and speak about this one, speak about that one, and step on this one and take revenge on that one. That's his juice. That's what he's created to do. And when I put out that fire, what I put out that fire is with peace. I'll take money from here. Because them fighting, you think it's just them causing lack of peace in their life and fire in their life? No. It has a ripple effect on the whole of Israel, on the whole of Klal. All of a sudden, Israel's in Tsaros. All of a sudden, there's 2 earthquakes yesterday, and there's Russia and what's it called? Russia, Russia and Syria. They're flying over the Golan now. They're hanging out over the Golan over here. Right? There are things that are happening and cooking, and it's all because of the fire within the Jewish people. And that's always been the message. Always that's been the message. God says to us very, very clearly, I want you to go to the extent of loving your brother, of making up stories to excuse his behavior, if he's sinning, if he's self-destructive, see the good in him. I want you to love each other so much. Leave me alone. Take me out of the picture. You could be a Russia, okay? Be a Russia. Don't keep the whole Torah, but love each other. To that extent, Hashem is into this concept of achdut and peace amongst his children. Learn to be a giver of life. The more I'm like this, the more I'm going to experience life to be this way. There's tzimtzum and then there's shefa. And what I wanted to say with this, I'm going to end. Before, when I started saying that God has a projector on planet Earth, He has a projector on us, and that's the Or Ein Sof, and that's that light, that's that pleasure. The world that we're living in right now, the world that we're experiencing, we are meant to be experiencing high levels of happiness and joy, and living our potential, and bringing Mashiach, and doing big things. Like the levels that a person can reach in this world are just as low as he can get. Think about the lowest person that you can envision and imagine. Think about what their life is like, what they're doing, what they're acting, what they're shooting up, who they're hurting, who they're stealing from. From that level, that's how high a person can get in the world. Meaning, that's how spiritual and flying and enjoying and living and alive and feeling and connecting. And that's where we can get to. Life is all about levels. Life is all about levels. And when you're ready to take it the next step. And the concept is that we're meant to be very, very happy in our lives. The reason that we're not is because of all the conflicts. If I put an end to the conflicts, if I put the fire out in my life, with the people in my life, if I make peace with people, if I come to people with peace treaties, if I look for the good in people and not look for all the bad that is so obvious, if I focus on looking for the good, if I speak words that build and not break, even though it's true what I'm saying, I'm criticizing because it's the truth. He didn't do that. Right. Well, what are you interested in? The truth or results? You want to be right or you want to be smart? And that's what we're talking about. And the third way is through actions. Spiritual, when I said sexual purity, that's one way. And another explanation of it is actions. Actions of kindness, action of giving, action of loving, actions of doing. You do that, girlfriend, you get ready. You get ready to have people knocking on your door when you need them the most. You get ready to all of a sudden have that perfect apartment fall into your lap. An amazing partner you met. You get ready for these, because this is all haftachos. These are all promises in the Zohar and the Torah. All promises. En kli machzik tova ela hashalom. En kli machzik bracha ela hashalom. You can't have a vessel that holds blessing in your life as good, as solid as the vessel of peace. You have peace in your life. You make peace with the people in your life. You make peace with yourself. You make peace with what's going on. The guy cuts you off. Let him cut you off. Wish him well. Bless him. Bless him. Bless him. Hashem sent him to cut you off. God sent him to cut you off. It's not a coincidence that he all of a sudden cut you off. Good. Hashem wants to see what's going to come out of you. Is what's going to come out of you venom, or what's going to come out of you is blessings?
So blessings. Not in a car.
Yeah.
But road is like free therapy.
I know, Mommy.
It really is.
I know.
Like,
but you think it is.
They don't hear you. You get your stress out. You get home more like peaceful.
Yeah, but that creates that kind of interaction with another person.
Yeah, but
that creates the people. He doesn't have to know. What I was saying before is you even thinking about another person. Oh, she's ugly. You thinking, having the thoughts creates the separation. Creates the separations inside of you.
I must be completely separated then.
We're all completely separated. The reason that you have boomerang back in your life, people that are just like, and whatever, not your cup of tea, that you don't like their energy, is because that's the energy you're putting out. With your thoughts. I'm not even talking about actions. The last thing is actions. I'm talking about thoughts, just having, and the opposite is true. Having good thoughts. Looking for the good side, looking for this, that all of a sudden puts your pieces back together inside.
Yeah.
Your pieces are back together inside. Your pieces are back together in your life. Your relationships, your friendships, your parents. Questions, thoughts, concerns, comments. Peace.
No, I think everybody, I feel like it's a very, outside of Judaism also, is that it's very known that you are, like everyone around you is a reflection of you. Like if someone does something and it upsets you, you're like, why am I even upset? You realise it's because it's a reflection of what you don't like in yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I didn't grow up religious, and I always heard about, you know, the reflection and that. Like, I feel like it's just like the non-Jews call it like the vibrational frequency and all of that stuff.
It's true.
Yeah, but whereas we see it as more God-based.
Well, you also have a vibration.
No, I know, but I'm saying a lot of people that don't believe in God, for example, like this whole secret, you know, the secret.
Sure.
So they don't believe in God, or they think it's like a power. We'll never call it God.
Source.
But like it's literally the same thing in a different mindset, so to speak, because of what they ultimately believe in.
Right.
Whereas all of ours eventually leads back to Hashem.
Yeah.
They don't believe in that. So
right.
to them it's just a vibrational frequency.
Right. Yeah.
You have to tune in your radio.
Well, we're the chosen people, you know.
Yeah.
There's only about 14.5 million Jews in the world today. Very, very few Jews, not so many, and we were given the secrets to the universe because we're meant to fix the universe. Tikkun Olam. We're meant to fix this. It's not because we're like greater than everyone else. It's because we were given a sick responsibility. Go fix mankind.
But what if we can't?
We can, because if God gave you that tafkid, He gave you that mission, you could do it. It just takes.
I think the plastic's melted.
Yeah, something's burning.
Like it must be like one of the ladles that's in the. Yeah.
Thank you all for watching.
It's always a hard pill to swallow, you know, when you go through something bad, you know, and you really believe that like God wouldn't give it to me if I couldn't handle it, but at the same time it just sucks, you know.
Yes.
And you're like, okay, well, I guess I'm strong enough, but then you still cry and stuff.
Yes, you're allowed to cry. You're allowed to feel. You're allowed to be. This hurts. This is painful. But in that, you have to know that it's always the hardest before there's a breakthrough. Before there's something that this thing is leading you. If you wouldn't go down this path up and around, you wouldn't get to where you're going with this. The involvement, the growth, the development that you're doing with yourself. It has to be this way. It has to be.
Why can't things just always be good? Like when you go through a really good wave, you know, everyone's messaging you and they've got 5 different Shabbat, like people offering, and then all that stuff, everything's good. It's like part of you knows that like, oh, this isn't gonna last forever. Like when's that little, oh, no one invites you for Shabbat, or no one, you know.
Well, there's a myriad of reasons for that. One that comes up right now is Vayishmani Shurun Vayevat, that it says in the Navi that a person, the way it works, is that once he gets fat, he walks. Meaning a person, when he's hungry. But once he's full, he kicks it and he walks, he continues, he goes on. Which the concept is there that if you always had good, if you always had nice, if you always had a million friends inviting you, if you always had it, you would lose interest, you would lose care, it would become ma'us in your eyes. It'd become like, who cares?
It's nice though when it happens.
It's very, very nice.
Yeah.
It's very nice. But the reason that it's so nice for you is because the differences, meaning, what's the word I'm looking for? The opposite, right? All of a sudden you experience something good. That's the reason why life has to be this way.
Yeah.
It has to be this way because really, really, you don't really grow in the good times. You grow. You can grow, but not as much as you grow when you're
looking at what you need to develop to make yourself feel better.
When you're going through all the emotions, when you're going through all the pain, when you're going through the experiences of this is hard, you're being born. Something about you is being born. Birth is. Go. Thank you so much for coming.
It was amazing. I'm gonna rewatch it.
Okay. את מהממת. אני אוהבת
You get
אותך.
one time.
נועה, תלמידה נאמנה. איפה החברה שלנו מגבעת זאב?
Shani.
It was the only time she left her house in the past few years. So.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Esty, yeah.
Wow.
But her sister was here last time. Huh?
Which one's Esty?
Some plastic
Not
is burning.
Shani?
Oh, maybe outside.
No, it's one that was on tuition night. They came to tuition night.
Yeah, we were at her house.
No, I had another friend coming in.
We'll see.
The friend that I came with.
Alright, we're gonna go now. Thanks for joining.
The one that was going on about our kids. She had like 3 kids.